got a different sort of quad here. It's a nice looking sort of built-in prop guards and everything. As you can see, sort of looks pretty robust. Going to would take a fair bit of beating, I think. I'll show you the LEDs in a minute because they are absolutely awesome. It's got tri-props on it, and it comes in a nice little box all ready to roll, and it comes in 6 different flavours, would you believe it? And that even goes more because you can even have different cameras on it. So you've got a standard one with a camera, with Wi-Fi, altitude hold, and camera, altitude hold, and Wi-Fi. And then you can have a 0.3 or a 2 megapixel camera. I mean, it's got a lot of options. I've got, I would call pretty much a basic one, no camera on it or anything, and I think that's a really good way to learn how to fly. Personally, if you were learning to fly, I would be looking more at the one without altitude hold as well, because then I think you'll really learn how to fly. With altitude hold, you've got that little bit taken away from you. It comes with a nice little sort of transmitter, and it's the one they'll use on all of them. You can slide the back bit out, and then you can put your phone holder in there as well to use the Wi-Fi, etc. You need 4 AA batteries that don't come with it, that you'll need to actually fly, and simply just pop them in the back there. And it feels okay in the hand. It's it's obviously a toy grade one. The whole thing's sort of budget priced, beginner's drone, I would definitely say. You also get some spares. You get 4 spare props, and like I say, they're tri-props. And then you've got a little screwdriver, and you need that to take the props off. Just simply undo the screw there and take them out. The props are marked A1 and B2, so you know what orientation to put them in, and it's important you do replace it with the same prop. If not, it just won't fly. So you get a little 380 milliamp hour single cell battery, and there's loads of these around, so you can get some replacement ones if you want. And it's got the lossy micro connector on there, and it sits in the battery bay quite nicely actually. It's tight but not too tight. Something I recommend, and if you know the channel well, you know that I always do this on all batteries that I've got to slide in and out. If you slide it right in and get it into the clip area there, the only way you can get that back out without doing my little trick that I'll show you in a second is to pull on the cables. Eventually you can loosen that connection, and then you could create a short across there which will ruin your battery and possibly even cause a fire. So I'm being slightly dramatic there, but that does happen, and the only way you can get that out really is to grab hold of that. So what I do, a little bit of sellotape, or for those of a certain age you might remember sticky back plastic. You just literally tape a little bit of it around. It won't interfere with the battery at all going in and out, and then you can get it out without putting any pressure or stress in these cables here, and you really don't want to be stressing those cables. So, let's run through the transmitter. It's a mode 2 transmitter, so this is your throttle, so press this one up, the quad will go up, pull it down, the quad will come down. If you want the quad to turn, you push it that way and it will rotate to the right, push it that way, it will rotate to the left. And this is your direction stick, so the front of the quad is here, so where the camera would be, and my mice just got a hole there, and it does have a little LED headlight there as well in white, which is rather nice. So that's the front of the quad, so press that, goes forward, goes to the right, goes to the left, and comes back towards you. Forward is called pitch in, and backwards is pitch in, and it's rolling right and left. You can also fly this one in headless mode, which is this button here. This is the P3 button. You press this one, and then it doesn't matter what orientation the quad's in, it's how you started it when you bound it up, and I'll show you how we do that in a second. So we're facing that way, and we bind all up, get ready to fly. In flight or before flight, we press this button, and then forward is always in that direction, right is that way, left that way, and backwards this way. So it doesn't matter what way the quad's facing. Even like that, if I pull backwards, it will just come straight back towards me. So that's called headless mode. You've also got a return to home button here. You press this one and it will drift back towards home ish. Good luck on that, they don't always work. And you're not going to fly this very far away. I would imagine, you know, you're going to be 30-40 meters, if that. I mean, especially mine without the Wi-Fi on it. I mean, all you'd rely on then is the LEDs to know what orientation you are and flying. So it's a beginner drone, you know, so keep it in nice and close to you. Don't bother about how high it goes or how far away it goes. Concentrate on flying. These ones here are all trim buttons, and these ones here, and that's how you set the trim if there's a problem. When you turn it on, you can calibrate the gyro if you've had an accident, or you just the first time you're flying it and you just want to make sure everything's come out from the factory perfect. Simply sit it on somewhere level, pull the 2 sticks down and into center. You get flashing LEDs, and that calibrates the gyro. And I think on this one it points at it. Calibrates the altimeter as well. I don't know if it does, but it sort of hints that way in the instruction manual. The instruction manual looks brilliant, but actually isn't. It's got some weird stuff in it that doesn't actually mean anything. It does actually have an auto takeoff on the P1 and auto landing on the P2, and in the instruction manual that rotates left and rotates right, I think, which has nothing to do with it whatsoever. To start the motors, simply pull them down and out on the sticks, and that puts it into sort of tick over mode, and then you give it some throttle, it'll take off. Or if you just simply press the takeoff button, it starts the motor and ascends as well. Got two little buttons on the top here. This one on the right is for doing flips. You press that and then you choose a direction that you want it to do a flip in. And this one all controls the rate, so how fast the quad flies. And this has 3 different rates. It always starts in low rates. Press it once, it gives 2 beeps, then goes into second rates, intermediate rates. Press it again, it goes into high rates, beep 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 basically, and then that will be the fastest the quad can go. So your pitch and everything is a bit more, it won't be aggressive, but I would call it more fun, but it would just go faster. And then if you actually hold this down for 3 seconds, you can turn off the LEDs on the quad as well. So I'll run through all this in the flight, but if you're new to flying, those things when you're on the ground might be quite handy. Hopefully it helps someone, that's good. On this one, you connect up the quad first of all and get it ready for the flight. And like I say, I'm going to set it up so we're going that way. And let me show you these LEDs as well. So, and on this one, you actually turn the quad on first of all, not the transmitter. So you've got LEDs on the top, little ones. You've got the headlight there, but these are the nice ones. Wow, it's like a Christmas tree. So you've got blue at the front, white down the side, green down the side at the back, and then red at the very back. And yeah, it looks smart. I'm going to do a night flight with this when I do the summary at the end. This thing's going to look awesome, I think. So, and then we put gone down to a slow pulse on the actual quad itself. Turn on the transmitter, and then you get a beep out of it, and then we've gone on to solid LED, so nothing's moving at all here. When you go into headless mode, and it's quite good because you actually get pulsing LEDs. If you've got a low battery warning, you get a different pulse on the lights as well, so that's rather good. I think it seems quite a nice little setup. We'll just see how we get on flying it, I think. So, like I say, we can calibrate it first of all, so down and in, you get flashing LEDs, and that means we're all calibrated. And then to start the motors, you can just pull these down and out, and we're away. And you can sure the LEDs flash when you're on the ground, and then because it's waiting for an instruction to take off. Once you've taken off, the LEDs then stop flashing. And like I said, these LEDs are just awesome. Really nice. So let's just get the headless mode out the way first of all. So I'm going to press that one, and then forward is always away from me, backwards towards me, and right, left, and then right. And if I turn the quad around, it's exactly the same. Still going to go the same way, so I've just given its instructions. You can also sort of go at any angle. You don't have to go in the 4 points of the compass. It's entirely up to you. Headless is not a way I usually fly, but I do it for the reviews because some people quite like flying that way. So we're going to turn it off. Simply press that button again. As you saw, the LEDs stop flashing, and now we're in normal flight mode as far as I'm concerned. So, and it's a nice little flight. I mean, that's in low rate, so that's pretty good. I mean, some low rates are lower than that sort of thing, so it's quite nice. And it'll pulse down a bit if you pull the throttle off. So let me just show you how the altitude hold works. So I'm touching nothing here apart from just directing it towards me, and the altitude holds really well. There we go. And if I push it up, it will just ascend, let go. It will just sort itself out. It only takes a second. That's quite normal. There we go. And you see it sort of pulses and stops, but it is holding position and everything really well. It's got no way, if there's a breeze in the garden, they do that, it'll actually push it away from me. So it's not actually going to hold position, it just holds altitude, but you can see it works pretty well. So I'm going to hold this button down for 3 seconds. There we go, and that's our LEDs off. And even the headlight goes off, so everything goes off apart from those 2 little ones on the top there. So I'm going to put them back on because I quite like the LEDs. There we go. And it does help in orientation. So if I go round there and it's a long way away from me, I can definitely tell the headlights facing towards me. So wait till that comes round, and then we can start heading it back towards me. There we go. I'll show you the return to home one. So press this one, and it's going off in that direction somewhere, which is nowhere near the steps I took off in. And just to confuse it even more, if I go over there and now press the return to home, it's still going off in that direction. So return to home is not brilliant if you've turned round. I wouldn't be using it on this sort of quad. There's no need to. You're not going to fly it that far. If you want to stop it, just pull it down, pull the throttle off, and it will come down. It will cut the motors once it's actually stopped descending, whether that's your hand or the ground. And then this auto takeoff here, this P1 one, press that, off you go. Really nice. And auto landing, you press this one and then you can choose where it's going to go to land with the direction stick. It comes down quite quick as well, which I like, because usually if you want it down, you want it down sort of thing, especially if there's a breeze under it. So let's check out those rates, shall we? Well, like I say, you get pulsing flashing LEDs when it's just ascending, and then when it's actually sort of stabilised, the LEDs go on solid. You press this one, goes into second rates. It's nice. I quite like things that just fly. I love the toys with the cameras and everything else, but there is something about just actually having a good old laugh with a bit of fun just flying something, not worrying about putting your phone on or anything else sort of thing. And let's try it up in high rates. I clearly get 3 beats there. Yeah. You have to keep the throttle up on this one. It is controllable enough to do it, but it's pretty good. I don't think you'd be flying this fast and sort of erratic if you were new to flying. This is just me having a play, I think. It's good fun. And it looks as though it's sort of going to drop out sometimes, like some of the ducted fan quads I've had can sort of, on a sharp turn, they can sort of drop out of the sky. It gives the illusion it's going to, but it doesn't seem to. It seems to hold it really well. There we go, you see? Nice stuff. Let's try a flip, shall we? Well, yeah, that's not bad. I'm not big on me flipping, actually, unless it's manually flipping. I'd have liked the one without the altitude hold, because I could have done some manual flipping with that. But this one you got no chance, because you can't kill the throttles, so never mind. But if you're learning, I suppose the altitude hold is quite handy, and obviously this thing's pretty safe. As long as you don't put your fingers down in that way, you can virtually do anything with it. You could come in and bop your one, pop, and it's not going to do any damage. Shouldn't do any damage indoors either. The only thing it could do is knock an ornament off, I would imagine, but that would be about all. It does get a bit of a move on as well. We're going to do a bit of a range test, so let's just see how far we get. We've got 30 metres. Oh, that's 40 metres there. And like I said, let's try and turn it around and get that LED on me. Perfect. Yay. Yeah, so that LED is great for getting the orientation back to come, so you can bring it back towards you. And the yaw isn't daft. Some yaw, when you rotate them, they go into a really fast spin, which is actually fun, but this one doesn't actually have that facility. I don't mind that, that's quite fine with me. And like I say, auto, the landing, if you press this one, it will just come down as soon as it's saves you pulling the throttle off, and then it will come in as a controlled landing. It doesn't come back to where you took off as a landing, it just literally lands anywhere sort of thing. So, and again, you watch these LEDs, I think it's quite good, so it warns you that the motors are going to prime and then it's going to take off with the flashing. So there we go, flashing. Oh! Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're still not getting flashing LEDs. That is pretty good. Ah, now we are. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking that was quite a long flight for a little battery. It's only a 380 milliamp hour battery, so that's pretty good. I will run it out to the end, because I'll just give it a quick. Oh, there we go. I haven't touched anything, so you won't get an awful lot of warning because it is a tiny little battery. So. Okay, so what did I think of it at the end? Well, I enjoyed flying it, to be perfectly honest. It's nice, it's basic, the one I've got. You haven't got any of the confusion with cameras and everything else. And if you bought the one with the camera and everything, I would learn to fly without looking at the Wi-Fi FPV or recording or doing anything like that. Myself, I'd just learn how to fly and enjoy the flying experience, then move on to all the other toys. So
Another option is to buy this and then you move on to a better quad with a better camera and everything. Might be a different way of doing it. Don't think you're going to buy one quad and then that's it, you stop. You really don't in this hobby, not at all. Just to give you an idea of the size, I just saw in my hand and everything, it gives you an idea. But it's 100mm, roughly sort of centre to centre on the motor centres there. And I haven't done any damage to it at all. If it went up on your ceiling indoors, be a great indoor fly. Like I say, you're not going to do any damage with the props there either. The transmitter itself worked really well. What were we getting, 30-40 meters there? No problem at all. I didn't run it to drop it out actually. I don't think you're going to fly this that far away, and if that's your thing, all it will do is just drop out the sky when it loses a signal. So but honestly, if you're learning to fly, keep it in nice and close, makes it much more fun. The batteries, as I was saying, just make sure you put the little bit of sellotape on there and you get it in and out of the battery bay area, no problem at all. And this is the actual charger they provide you, and if I'm out and about, I use the little power banks, and I've done a video on all the different things I use them for. I'll put a link in the description for you. Simply plug it into there, and then when it's charging you get red on the LED like this, and then when it's fully charged that will just go off, so that's good. But you can get 6 of these batteries and a multi-charger for about £8, about $10, and that will give you, obviously 6 times more flying time. But the nice thing about the multi one is it charges it in about an hour, which is really good, and this takes about 45 minutes to do it with the one that they supply just to recharge the single one. So all in all, a really good, fun little package there. If you're new to flying, yeah, get out there and enjoy it.